There is something so hypnotic about a full moon glowing in the sky, and how the moonlight sparkles on the water. This painting uses just Prussian blue, white and black, and the simplified colour scheme helps us to focus on the techniques that capture the radiance of the scene. The glow around the moon is the most striking thing about this painting, and the setup for this is all done in the background layer. Paint the background a dark blue, but leave a bare white circle where your moon's gonna go. Fill this circle with white and blend it out into the dark sky. I like to use a fluffy mop brush to really soften this blend. You'll also find that this makes the white area a pale blue, and this will help your moon that we paint over the top to stand out. Once the background is dry, paint the moon in the center of your bright spot. To make the moon as bright and as luminous as possible, build up the white in several layers. As you do this, think about the craters and the textures on the surface of the moon. Clouds can be really frustrating to paint. You want them to be light and fluffy and organically shaped, but these are big asks for gouache because it dries so quickly. The best way to tackle them is to build them up in layers. Start with a weak white mixture and establish the shapes and the location of the clouds. Each time you add a new layer of white, start on the cloud edge closest to the moon, where you'll want them to appear brighter. In between layers, stand back and take a look at the clouds. This will give you a better idea of what you need to change. I love painting water in scenes like this. The overall effect is something that looks much more complicated than it actually is. Kind of like clouds, the natural rhythm that occurs in the surface of water is something that's easy to make look overworked. I try and avoid this by focusing on the big picture qualities of water, things like making it look lighter in the distance and showing bigger wave details in the foreground. I add all these things and then with a slightly damp brush, blend them together a little. You end up with a soft but varied surface that you can add more details to as needed. But it's these little variations that give the water a realistic look. I'll normally go back in and add more contrast to the foreground where you would see more wave details. This can be a few swipes of darker paint to help deepen the shadows. To paint how the moonlight sparkles on the surface of the water, use a small round brush and titanium white. Concentrate these highlights directly beneath the moon and widen the path that they create as you move towards the foreground, allowing them to sparkle on individual wave tips